Hello, Reliance. I am your host, Jupiter, and I would love to welcome you guys to Temtem Tuesdays. That's right, it's official. We're doing it, and here we go. I want to introduce everybody to a key new here. This is a support Temtem, and basically we're covering what the SVs do at this current moment, which basically they are base value. So however high these are, plus whatever equation with the TV, and then you get your outcome. And pretty much at this current moment in ranked, your SVs are maxed out, so they don't really matter too much currently. The main thing that you need to worry about currently in Temtem if you want to build your comp team is the TVs. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of TVs all over the place with my Kinu. However, if I scroll on over to my mix here, you'll see that he's got some stamina, he's got some speed, and he's got some special attack. The reason why I'm doing this is because I kind of want my mix to be a super glass cannon with speed. I want him to be able to use a lot of his moves over and over again, and I want him to actually kill things using his special attack. So that's why you see some of those areas are sort of just not really cared about. And that's pretty much the main thing towards sort of building your Temtem. Sai Pat, his HP stat is actually pretty okay. His speed is alright, his special attack is nice. The thing that is not so great about Sai Pat are his defensive capabilities, such as his defense and his special defense. He is basically going to be a Temtem you toss out to probably only take one hit, but the main reason why you use Sai Pat is for his melee attribute. He's got some pretty cool traits here. When attacked with the water technique, he gets hit bonus speed, and then there's also Toxic Affinity, where any toxic move will get a damage boost. As far as these traits go, I'm pretty sure Amphibian is the better one. Toxic Affinity is actually perfectly fine if you feel like you need some more toxic on your team. You can try a Sai Pat with that trait instead, but I personally am going to be running a Sai Pat with Amphibian for that speed boost when hit with the water technique. Now, the main thing about Sai Pat is his attack, which is at a nice, very strong 80 attack. Now Sai Pat, because he's melee, he's also going to have some pretty decent moves that back him up that are going to be effective against some of the types that currently are some of the stronger types in the game, which are crystal types. But here, as I was saying, you have 100% encounter ratio to encounter a Sai Pat in this patch of grass. So if you really want to farm up some fighting type SVs or some water type SVs, I highly recommend you catch yourself a bunch of Sai Pat, because this is going to make it so much easier to breed your water and fighting type Temtem. It's always a 100% guarantee that you're going to encounter one, so that means you get more single value chances of getting that Temtem maxed out. The one thing that you will need to know about breeding is that it is, I believe it is through the male that decides the Temtem that you will be hatching. So let's say you've got a girl Sai Pat. Well, guess what? If you put that girl Sai Pat with another water Temtem or another fighter Temtem, you're going to actually get the other water or fighting Temtem. If it's not a Sai Pat, it's going to be whichever one that you chose. That being said, a lot of this stuff is really not a big deal just yet. Again, because, I mean, ranked is really quick. You can catch one of these Sai Pat and then train them pretty much the second you catch them. Or you could try and breed them to get some moves to be bred into them as well, which I think is the main thing that people are doing right now. They're making sure that the moves are being crossbred over to other Temtem, which I think is actually more valuable currently than it will be later on. Alright, so the next Temtem I want to talk to you guys about is actually going to be is one of my favorites, and that is Whiplump. Sorry about the ding. So Whiplump here is one of my favorite Temtem. He's water and wind. At the moment, wind Temtem are very, very prevalent because they're decent against Toxic. Toxic are super defensive Temtem that are weak to wind. But at the same time, there's not a lot. The same thing with Crystal. There's not a lot of Temtem with the exact types that you need to overcome wind at the current moment. So wind Temtem are fairly strong. The reason why I love Whiplump is because he's got pretty decent stats. On top of his survivability, he's got a whopping 95 special attack. That is freaking awesome. I love Whiplump. Whiplumps I'm probably going to be running on my team almost all the time. And there is a place where you can encounter them. Sorry, not them. You will encounter a Fomu, which evolves into Whiplump. So you get your surfboard after you beat this gym leader. Spoilers. You come down here, and down here is a 100% guarantee you will encounter a Fomu, which is water and wind. Once they level up, I think Fomu are just water. Let me check on that. Let me check. Yeah, they are just water. They come with Amphibian and Hydrologist, but obviously Whiplump is better, so don't worry about Fomu. As you can see, special attack is still pretty good, but you would definitely want to schmack with the Whiplump 100%. So yeah, down here you pretty much 100% encounter Whiplumps. Now destroying Fomu, let me find it here, gives you special defense +2, which means you can come down here to train any Temtem that you want to increase their special defense. Sai Pat, as I said, gives you +3. As I said, there's a 100% chance to encounter up there. They give you 3 HP. So whenever you guys are sort of training your Temtem, you want to make sure that they're all train valued up, they're all TV'd up with the allocated skills that you want them to be good with. Attack, defense, special attack, special defense, HP, stamina even. All of those things are how you train them. These are 2 places you can go to train some of your Temtem the way you want. Basically, right here is where you will encounter Genki 100% of the time. It's a beautiful place to farm Genki, looking for those 50 single value stats as much as you possibly can. And once Genki levels up, he will get boosted stats. He'll be boosted, and he will be fairly strong, going to be quite honest. So that's Genki. Sorry, that's Gazuma. Alright, so the next Temtem is going to be another one of my favorites. If you couldn't tell, I really like the common Temtem, because all of these Temtem, as I said, are early in the game. They're in the first map that you spawn in, and they're quite early. Aside from needing the surfboard, which were the first 2 sites that I showed you, which were over here by the Gifted Bridges and under Windward Fort. So there was the Sai Pat patch, and in Windward Fort I show you the Fomu. Down here was the this area here was the Genki patch, and now we will be traveling down here in this area to the Tataru patch. Now Tataru is basically the first Temtem that you're going to encounter in the wild. They are insanely common Temtem. However, this does not mean they are bad Temtem one bit. Tataru are the normal type Temtem, and because of their moveset, they are definitely the Swiss Army knife of your Temtem team. I super highly recommend running all these Temtem in your competitive games. just because how much usage and mileage you can get out of them with basically barely any effort put into getting that mileage. As I said, this will always find Tataru here. Killing Tataru, I say killing, knocking out Tataru, grants you 2 stamina. I don't think stamina is really a move just yet that people are going to be dumping stats into. But looking at Tataru's stats, he doesn't evolve or anything. These are his base stats, and they are pretty flippin' awesome. He's got high HP, pretty decent defense and special defense. His attack is pretty high, and his stamina at base is pretty high, which means your Tataru is going to be able to use some of those more draining attacks, those more powerful punches, as well as having one of the most broken traits in the game, Soft Touch. Soft Touch is hilarious because sleeping currently in Tap and Temtem is massively prevalent in the comp scene, and Soft Touch does not wake up a sleeping target when you attack it, which is awesome. I mean, that is a really, really, really great thing to have. There's also Resilient. I don't think it's as great as Soft Touch, but I mean, it's possible if you are, using your Tataru, and it's probably one of those scenarios where you could basically kill yourself. So it's like a one of, the one chance you get to use this, it'll be nice. Whereas Soft Touch, you can use it multiple times. So I think that Soft Touch is better trade at the moment. Anyways, Tataru can come in and be a really, really great sweeper, not just because these stats are pretty decent. His move set, the set of moves and the amount of moves and the amount of different moves that he can learn, I think he can actually learn the most amount of moves out of all of the Temtem currently available in the game. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that Tataru is basically the Linoon of Pokemon. Tataru can do a crap ton of stuff and be massively effective through his HP, his attack. I would say they are very, very decent sweepers and will always be very, very useful to run in your Temtem team comp. So again, just to conclude our little video here, I want to sort of touch on some of the aspects that we talked about today. As I said, the ranked in Temtem currently in the early access game mode is incredibly easy to get into. All you need to do is get your team full of the trained values that you want those Temtem to have, and catch, obviously, those Temtem that you want to have, and then just take them into ranked. There's no if and or buts about it. You don't have to put a ton of hours into grinding, especially knowing that you can go into these several different areas in the first map that you are in. You don't even have to go to the second map or the third map. All of this is on one map. You can go here, farm these Temtem. Within 30 minutes, you'll have pretty decent amount of them, and you can go in and get your grind on. Other than that, guys, thanks so much for chilling and hanging out with me on this wonderful Tuesday we're having. I hope to see you guys in the next one. See you later. Have a good one. See you later. Bye!